So I was planning on reviewing Terminator 2 initially, but I decided that after seeing it that I really wasn't going to review it, mostly because I didn't really feel like I had that much to say. It's a great movie, and I feel like everyone kind of knows that, so I'll kind of be like beating a dead horse. I just want to watch the first two Terminator movies again because I haven't seen them in a while, and I enjoyed myself greatly. I decided I'm going to review every movie I see, but I said that's not very important, so even though I recorded a Terminator video, I postponed it. I kept delaying it for putting more interesting videos out that I thought would be more important because more relevant movies. But then Terminator 1 video came out, and it got a lot of views, at least for my standard. For some reason, this video got like over 1,000 views. It got more, but I decided to unlist it because I got so many comments of people not even watching the video and just getting mad because I said this. Does the original Terminator hold up? And I think in the beginning I said some effects don't hold up. And a bunch of other weird things. So I'm going to reply to some of these weird fucking people that I'd have to delete because they're spamming me, despite the fact that it made it clear that they didn't read my top comment or even watch the review. This is actually the main reason why I decided to actually make this review in the first place, actually. Because, like I said, I wasn't really intending on making it, but because this video got so many views and stuff, like, I gotta defend myself because apparently people are too idiotic to watch the video, and anyone makes these points in the comment section of this video, then I'll know that they did nothing but just click on the title and just comment their own bullshit. I don't like deleting comments. I try not to do it at all. But if people are not gonna read or watch the video, then I don't have any problem deleting your comment. Sorry. In my Terminator review, I basically said at the beginning that the future Terminator movies, not T2 obviously, suck, and that James Cameron directed a movie called Piranha too. That was his first film. I wasn't even going to mention it, but I thought it was an interesting tidbit because I thought Terminator was his first film, but it wasn't. Someone's like, actually, Terminator's an actual project. Like, you couldn't fucking tell from this video that I didn't consider Piranha 2 an his first film. I can't even speak. It's how fucking pissed off I am. These dumbass people. Like, if I didn't put it there and I said this is one of James Cameron's first films, people were like, it's actually Piranha 2. So you can't fucking win these idiots. The main point of contention, I guess, was the fact that I said that some effects don't really hold up and look a little dated. That's my exact word, I'm pretty sure. Because this scene here, yeah, it doesn't look that great. I like it. It has a unique charm to it. I like practical effects. But this film has a small budget, so I'm not shocked that some effects are not going to hold up that great. Terminator 2 doesn't have that problem, and Terminator 1 has some great effects. Just sometimes a little thing will slip in, like the Arnold head puppet, which looks a little goofy. Someone said, well, it's supposed to look like that. He's a robot. Yeah, I know he's a robot, but the fact is that when he puts the sunglasses on, he's a human looking. But when they're off, he becomes a little puppet head. Doesn't look like a robot, looks like a puppet. I don't care, it doesn't bother me, but it's not a 10 out of 10 effect. It's a charming effect made by a small, passionate team, but I had to point out that it looks a little goofy, and I find that funny. Apparently that you can't say that, even though the rest of my review, like I said, I say I love this film because it's a great movie. I just don't understand the idea here. Are you people that stupid you can't take a minor criticism of a film? Like, geez Louise. You also get comments like this where I can't even fucking read what I was trying to say because it made no sense. Like, what the hell? This person was recommending a movie that doesn't even exist because Maneater's not a movie. He's referring to a movie called Manhunter, and he's talking about how great a song in the movie is. Wasn't even written for the fucking movie itself. What the fuck does that have to do with Terminator? I don't fucking get it. I deleted this whole fucking thing because someone's like, actually, it makes a whole lot of sense. No, it fucking doesn't. I know this whole part of the review is me ranting and whining like a little bitch, but I'm so sick and tired of people who make fucking nonsensical comments and then misquote me, alright? I don't like people who like try to interpret my fucking videos and shit like that. If you don't like my opinion, that's fair. I don't give a shit. But the thing is, these people are acting like I hate this movie. How do you watch this review where I watch it again and all I do is fucking praise the movie? Jeez fucking Louise. I don't need to watch other movies randomly, people, just because you think I need to watch that to help understand Terminator. What the fuck is the Hannibal Lecter films have anything to do with Terminator? The answer is none. Alright, all this to say is that Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a really good film. I think everybody knows that. But keep in mind, if I do say something that might critique it, which I don't know if I do, I don't think I have any critiques of this movie, then somebody out there is going to say, like, how dare you say that? It looks dated. Even though this Terminator 2 does not look dated. I said like one scene basically I thought looked a little dated because it looked a little goofy. I liked it. It was charming. But no, people had to fucking misinterpret that as saying I fucking hate the entire movie because people are fucking retarded on YouTube. Well, actually, I do have a complaint with this movie. They cut this scene out where Sarah Connor hallucinates Kyle Reese being back from the dead, sort of like her subconscious in the form of him, which is actually a really great idea. And this scene's actually really amazing. I recommend go watching it. Of course, getting rid of the scene is not the biggest problem in the world, but it would have been cool to have it in the movie. Anyway, let's get into the review of the film itself, I guess. Like I said, I don't really have much to say. It's one of those movies I feel like that everybody's seen. Everybody's seen Terminator 2. Everybody knows it. Everybody likes it. Even Uwe Boll likes Terminator 2, and he hates everything that is in his films. That's a really deep cut reference there. So yeah, how do I describe Terminator 2 to people who haven't seen it? All zero of you, because seriously, who hasn't seen this movie? It stars the Terminator who's come back from the dead. Well, not really. It's a new Terminator. It's Arnold again, and he's going to steal this guy's clothes because, he likes leather jackets. Also, he decides not to kill this guy because he wants sunglasses. Because remember, the Terminator in the first movie wore sunglasses. That was to cover up his robotic eye, but here, I guess they recognize that symbolism is pretty cool, so let's keep the sunglasses again. That's about it. There are some callbacks to the first Terminator movie. We also get to see the other person who is time traveling. We don't know anything about this character yet. Well, for anybody who hasn't seen this movie, you have to see his ass. That's nice. So we don't know if this is this Kyle Reese character? Is this another Terminator? We don't really know yet. But what we do know is that both of them are going after John Connor, who is now a kid. Since there's been a big time gap in between the first and second movie, it actually works with the actual film itself. Since there's been 70 years since the last film, it's also 7 years have passed in the Terminator franchise in general. Because now Sarah Connor had John Connor, and he is now a little child boy, a little youngin' running around the city. He's a problem child, stealing money from the nice little ATM machines here with weird calculator setups because he learned how to hack from his mom. His mom, unfortunately, got sent away to a mental institution because they thought she was insane about her time she had sex with a guy from the future. I guess that would sound crazy to anyone else, but it was true. It was factual. Anyway, John Connor is probably one of the best characters in the franchise, for obvious reasons. And when I say best character, I mean this version. Pretty much any other version fucking sucked. Remember they made him a British guy who was also a Terminator? That made a whole lot of sense and was totally satisfactory. Fuck Genesis. Terminator 2 actually goes on the circular logic of the first film. You see, all because of the time travel is what caused a lot of events to set in place in the first movie. It's because both of those characters time traveled, the Terminator and Kyle Reese time traveled, certain events wouldn't happen. It was because he time traveled and met with Sarah Connor and they had a kid together. This is why that John Connor became the prophet, because she learned about the future beforehand, so she was able to train him. That's kind of why he became the savior. Unknowingly, the Terminator caused this future to happen by going back in time. Not only that, it caused the Terminator to actually create itself in a weird way, since it left a part of itself behind during the first movie. Remember its hand was stretched out? Well, this guy on the right got it, and now he's building a thing based off of it. And of course, this will eventually lead to Judgment Day, which is the title of the film, which doesn't actually happen in the film, so I guess it's kind of misleading, but whatever, it sounds cool. Another cool thing about this movie is that the character of Sarah Connor is pretty much completely different from the first film, which makes sense. After all, that was a very traumatic experience, and knowing that the future is fucked up, she basically transforms herself into some military person who wants to train her son to save the future. But she also becomes kind of psychotic and wants to kill pretty much anybody who thinks she might be a threat to pretty much everybody, which is an interesting character. She is kind of psycho, but in an entertaining way, and it makes sense, After all, the love of her life died by some random robot guy. Anyway, after all this, we get the twist of the film, which is one that might have shocked people from 1991, but I think everyone knows this by now since they always copy this film and the other future Terminator films, is that the Arnold Terminator is actually not the bad guy in this movie. What a twist. I mean, we are all used to it by now, but at the time I bet this was really cool to see, as this guy, who is actually Terminator 2, is the one that's trying to kill John Connor. And with this, we get to see some of the cool effects of the film, like some guy getting shot because he decided to walk in the middle of the way. Like, you should have got out of the way there, dude. That means that they basically can beat the crap out of this guy so much because he's so indestructible. But hey, was he more scarier than a robot that keeps coming after you? How about even more indestructible robot that keeps coming after you, that even a robot can't save you from? See, this is not a regular Terminator. This is a T-1000 made out of liquid metal who can kind of transform himself in pretty much any shape, making him even way more indestructible than the regular Terminator. So Terminator showcases that its action scenes are amazing since pretty much everything is done practically, even though this is the first film to really do CGI with the liquid metal. That's about it. They don't do anything else CGI related. So there's a bunch of great stunt work, great editing, and great action shots. The first Terminator also had that, but because they have a way bigger budget here, they're able to do way more extreme stuff. Like this helicopter chase, where this helicopter does some really like maneuvers that are really risky. And I think James Cameron was even on the helicopter there, which is kind of crazy to think about, since this is one of the most insane shots in pretty much any film ever. So I heard that's true fact, but I couldn't find anything on it, so it's probably not true. But James Cameron wanted them to fly under an underpass, and that's what he did. Honestly, there's not a whole lot more to say about Terminator 2. There's a lot of great, cool shots, but I would just be like, this is cool, this is great. And that's about it, really. I got nothing really interesting to say about it. An action film where a kid and a robot learn to get along, basically. They become friends, and the robot has to kill himself at the end. It's sad. And also they learn, is humanity worth saving? Can they be saved? And will violence always be what they always come to? Is it humanity's fault for creating the Terminators, or is it always inevitable? Who knows? As I said before, there isn't a whole lot to say about Terminator 2 that hasn't been said by everybody else. It's a great film. I did all the main bullet points that I thought were interesting. There's twin shots that are cool. And yeah, it's a very satisfactory ending. I don't think I like it quite as much as I did as a kid, but hey, I still think it's a really good movie. And if you haven't seen Terminator 2, I recommend it because it's pretty great. Anyway, the Terminator has to kill himself so that the future can be changed for the first time. The first movie said that this future was unfortunately what's going to happen. Terminator 2 is like, we can't change the future as long as we have faith in humanity, which is pretty neat. I also discovered an insane alternate ending. Basically says that this is the final Terminator movie, as years have passed since the quote-unquote Judgment Day was supposed to take place, which is why it was probably called Judgment Day. Of course, this scene was most likely scrapped because the studio wanted there to be potential sequels, but James Cameron's like, this is where I wanted to end, and I'm not going to be involved anymore of this franchise, because this is my final film in this movie series, which it actually was. So we have to see that everything's fine and hunky-dory, and that Sarah Connor's old, and John Connor is now also old, and has a kid himself. Isn't that lovely? And that's how the Terminator franchise ended. Nothing more happened after this. They totally put this ending in the final film because this was the intended ending for the franchise. It ends here. They stopped Judgment Day, and they never made a single Terminator film afterwards. It was a very satisfactory ending. It's like Back to the Future, we only needed 3 films, never made another one. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Let me know if this gets 1,000 views. I'll do Terminator 3. I don't really want to do it. That review would be longer, too, because I will actually have interesting things to say about that. But what's there to say, really, about a film that everybody loves and everybody knows is great? And that's all I gotta really say about it. It's pretty good. That's really all I gotta say about Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I know I've repeated myself multiple times in this review. But honestly, like I said, I was not really intending on doing this review. I did find 2 interesting tidbits about Terminator 2 by actually just looking into certain things, like those 2 deleted scenes, which are pretty amazing. Should be in the regular film. If they were there, I'll give it like 10 out of 10. Because they're not, I'll give it a 9. Very close to perfection. But those 2 scenes, and they needed them. Why'd they cut them out, studio? Why'd you cut them out? Maybe James Cameron cut them out. Who knows? I'm guessing the studio did it. Just have a feeling about it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I know there's going to be some idiots in the comment section. If you make a comment where you really haven't seen the video, then that's when you get deleted. Sorry. I just don't have time for people spreading misinformation, because I don't really appreciate that. Alright? And that's about all I gotta say about this. We'll see what happens when this video comes out, and all the other Terminator video is now able to be watched again, since at this point those fucking idiots should be gone from videos. They come in waves. Kind of weird. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Bye-bye.